What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back for another episode of Slightly Unqualified. I am your host this week, Steven. Blessed with my two co-hosts, Matt and Andrew. What's up, guys?
What's popping, boys?
Nothing much,
No,
to be honest.
same old.
Yeah, man, this past week was a blessing. My LA Thieves came through with a big win. I'm stoked for the next. Is it one more major, right, Matt, before championship?
Yep, one more.
One more major. Let's see if we can get it. That'd be dope if we won another one and then went to champs and won another one. But, I'll take one. But besides that, my week has been pretty good. Got to play some Xbox. Got to play some Fortnite with my boy the other day. What about you, Matt? What's the week looking like?
Lots of Ted Lasso. I actually found out, guys, that in FIFA 23, you can use the team from Ted Lasso, like the actual team. So this week has been me 24/7, pretty much, besides working, taking Ted Lasso's team in the second tier division in England and getting them to glory in the Premier League. So we've got two promotions so far, and I just made some moves today to acquire some bigger, better players for the Premier League. Right now, we're middle of the table, but we're climbing our way up. I just think it's there's this thing called Road to Glory that FIFA players do, where you take just like these trash clubs and teams, and you become a Road to Glory manager. So I thought, you know what, let's give Ted his props. And so here you're on the Prem, and we're gonna make a push. And
man.
It sounds so stupid, but from like a FIFA gamer perspective, it was the coolest thing I've done in a long time. So
that's
really
pretty,
like
that's pretty tight, man.
for FIFA. But other than that, we're watching Ted Lasso, of course. CinemaCon was this week, so I was paying a lot of attention to that. Caught up a bunch on WWE stuff. Looked at a bunch of Eagles draft prospects. Watched the major for Call of Duty. Watched a little bit of it's a Philly thing, Shody. Watched a little bit of the RLCS stuff that was this week because Optic was off stream most of the time, so I didn't get to watch a lot of their matches. But when they were on stream,
Call of Duty.
No, there was Rocket League stuff this week that happened.
Oh, there was.
Mm-hmm. Optic was off stream a lot, whatever it was.
I did not watch anything.
Also, Optic did a thing yesterday called the annual Beer Fest. It's their first one, and they just played. I think it was Modern Warfare 2. They had a tournament just like with amongst like their content creators and guys, and it's pretty cool to watch. So a lot of entertaining things. Out of my element, a lot of things like kind of getting back to like my roots with FIFA and all that stuff. But yeah, man, it's been a fun week for sure. That Ted Lasso thing really got me going. Like I was really happy about that for some reason. But what about you, Andrew?
Gentlemen, my wife found a hilarious show that I would recommend. It is called Jury Duty, and it's if reality TV and The Office / Parks and Recs kind of met and had a baby. And basically what it is, cool. It's so funny. So there's this jury that's going on this case, and everybody involved is an actor except for one person. So it's like the Truman Show too, where everybody's in on it except for this one random guy, and just the reactions that he has on some of the crazy stuff that happens is so funny, and just the concept of it is hilarious. It's on Prime, you can watch it.
Yeah, I just looked at the cast. It looks pretty funny. It's like the guy's like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I literally was like laughing so hard until like my cheeks were sore and like my stomach hurt. Like it was. I haven't had like such a good laugh in like a show in a long time. 10 out of 10 would recommend. I haven't finished it yet, but just some of the stuff is just outrageous. Other than that, my week's been pretty chill. I'm excited for a couple things. Obviously, we'll talk about it a little bit later, but
yeah, we'll get into that bag of worms in a little bit.
Tonight, we got some big things.
Bag of worms, or is it can of worms? Bag of worms.
Can of worms. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. How's work been for you fellas? I know we're both, or all three of us are dads. We got work, putting in them 40s. How's work going? Work's going good?
Yeah, just busy.
That's good. Yeah, man. I hate my job, dude. All I do all day is crush soda cans. It's soda pressing.
Oh, there it is.
All right, let's go to the first topic. We're not doing this. I know.
No, I'm just kidding.
I know we're all fathers. We're all fathers, but let's keep those jokes for the kids, please. All right.
I had
all
to
fathers,
do it, man.
But not all of us are daddies.
Okay, again, and on to the first one.
No, all right. First. I'm hosting. Let's do this. Keep this pushing. All right, I'm gonna be the first critic, and I know the trailers look amazing because I am an OG Batman fan, and OG Batman is in this trailer. But I'm taking it that everybody here has seen the new Flashpoint. Or is it Flashpoint? Flashpoint trailer.
Just the Flash.
Just the
Oh,
Flash,
just the Flash. Yeah,
But
just
it's
Flash.
basically the Flashpoint.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
what's
Flash.
your first take on that, Andrew? What was what caught you?
Yeah, so from what I've seen in the trailer, it looks good. I am very curious to see like how well this movie does, just from like a standpoint of people not liking Ezra and not supporting Ezra. I think so. So here's my unbiased thoughts. For all the crap that he's done, this movie better be really good for them to not scrap it. And so that's kind of what I'm excited for, is considering everything that has happened. They haven't scrapped it when they had very many opportunities to.
Yes.
And they've done it in the past. I think it could be something special. And depending if and it sounds like this is what they're going to do, but they're going to use this to reboot the whole universe. I think it could be cool, but I'll just be curious to see, like, are people going to just automatically write it off because Ezra's a piece of crap? Probably.
Most likely. I'm not going to lie to you. If Matt wasn't so pushing the topic of this movie, I would have given up on this movie already. Just because I'm not a big fan of him as an actor, and as a person. But Matt has been continuously like, no, dude, they're doing this and doing that. And I really think that after watching the trailer, I'm all in. I'm down. I hope the reboot works, and I hope they prosper after this movie. So I waited for Matt to be the last one because he's going to give us his expertise. He's a big Flash fan. So tell us what's up, Matt. What are you feeling?
Yeah, when it comes to DC, my favorite superhero is the Flash. So a little bias for the record.
Yeah,
I will throw it out. Well, actually, besides Booster Gold, but Booster Gold isn't here yet. Flash to me is Spider-Man to me in Marvel. So I have a lot of biasm towards this, and I think Ezra Miller didn't. Aside from his antics outside the screen, I think he does fine as Barry. People at first kind of got mad about his goofiness, but literally Barry's the most goofy one in the comics.
Yeah,
like
that's who he is.
Yeah. So I think he does everything they complained about with him. He was like Barry out of the books. It's crazy. People don't realize that. But the only thing about him that I kind of criticize is like the running, but like his running looks weird, doesn't look natural. But I guess if running that fast, it wouldn't in the first place. But sticking to the topic of the trailer, it looks interesting. The trailer gives no clarity on like the actual plot points outside of Barry going back in time and messing things up, but it looks significantly different from like the actual Flashpoint. Like the only element that's the same is he's going back to save his mom and he messed something up. But other than that, we have no clue what happened. I do think Barry, like Barry, not like Barry 2, Barry, looks good. The costume looks really, really, really well done.
Yeah, it does.
Second Barry looks kind of odd and weird, like kind of chunky. Like not chunky,
like a metal suit, huh?
Like a fat neck. It's weird. Which is cool. Keaton, I'm not. I love Keaton. Don't get me wrong, and I'm just not excited for that. But I'm not excited for it either. Like I don't know how to say it. Like
there's a shot in the trailer where Keaton's got like a whole bunch of face scars. I picked up on that and I was like, that looks different. But I don't know if that's
Batman Who Laughs, maybe.
Yeah.
But the big thing for me is how freaking cool Sasha Kaya looks as freaking Supergirl, dude. She looks good.
Bro,
like she looks like she's gonna be an animal and a monster. And when they did the cool superhero sequence, all three of them are running fast. Not only is she as fast as them, she's in front of them, and she's the one leading the charge. I think if there's going to be someone taking our breath away, it's going to be her in this film. And I think that's going to be good because I think she's going to be the quote-unquote super person until Kal-El comes in later on. So if they're going to put in the forefront and they're going to – if this movie ends up with Ezra, he's not going to be the Flash, I think, permanently for obvious reasons. But if we get out of this, Sasha Kaya as being this awesome Supergirl that we've seen, she looks really good she looks like a really good Supergirl. but the trailer looks fun. I mean, I will say that much. It looks intriguing. It piques my interest enough to
Yeah.
go watch it for sure. Um, on the trailer front, that's all I have. There's more I have on it, but I'll stick to CinemaCon when we get there. But the trailer looks good. I couldn't. The more that comes out with this movie, the more I want to watch it. And I know a few months ago when we were first talking about it, me and Steven, and even Andrew, I was writing it off as like, this movie's not going to matter anyway, so who cares? But it's the more they put out, the more I've been like, this looks like it's going to be a decent film at least.
Yeah. I definitely can take those words back that I wasn't excited for it, but now I kind of am. I kind of want to see where they're going with it.
Yeah.
But besides that it looks good. The trailer looks dope. I do know that the Japan trailer shows a couple more scenes that we didn't get here in the US, but it doesn't really tell anything with the story, so it's not really relevant in, like, if you're trying to piece together what the story is going to be. They're kind of keeping that hush hush. I'm kind of glad because, and I'm also liking that the fact that Bruce Wayne is not Bruce Wayne's dad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's actually Bruce Wayne, so I think that's pretty cool. I like how they're changing that up a little bit from Flashpoint.
Do you guys think there is a villain that we haven't seen yet from the trailer, or is it just all going to be
like Edward Thawne? You mean? You think Thawne's coming in? I could see Thawne coming in for sure. I just don't know how much. The reason why Thawne was so cool and important in the original, like, Flashpoint is because he understood what happened.
Yep.
And like he was able to. He was the one that was able to block Barry from fixing it by himself.
Yeah.
Like, he blocked the Speed Force off. So I don't know how much that's going to come into play when we don't know about Thawne in the first place, like in the aspect of the DCEU. I also don't know if it'll make sense to people, the Speed Force in general. So like, I just don't know where his place would be when Supergirl's here, because she can just, run through him, unless his place is going to be to block the Speed Force behind the scenes until the very last second, which I can see happening if DC does what we've been saying to do, which is not hold our hand, just let us figure it out. I could see them doing that, play that card, and I think it'd play out great personally. But I could also see them taking a cautious approach and saying people don't know about that yet, so let's not put it in yet, kind of a thing.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, as I was watching, I was like, okay, so we see General Zod, like, there's clearly a villain, but like, who's the main antagonist? And good for them for not coming out and showing it, because obviously I feel like this is one of those trailers where you watch it and you don't really walk away with figuring out how the movie's going to go.
Yeah.
But I hope we get something that we haven't seen, versus just kind of the antagonist being Barry trying to fix what he's done. It just seems kind of too easy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think too becomes dangerous if you give this Barry an antagonist. How are you going to set up the next Barry? So like, if Ezra Miller is not going to be the guy, all signs point to him not being the guy for the Flash going forward. I don't see them being a direct villain that could be an overarching story for years to come. If Ezra isn't going to be their Flash, I could see them kind of holding off for the next Flash to give him a more established approach. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain it other than
I get what you're saying.
Like, why bring a direct foe of the Flash in if he isn't going to be your Flash? If that makes sense.
Unless they bring in the villain to kill him, and the new Barry is like,
I can see that happening too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To avenge him or whatever. All right, well, getting off the Flash for now. So CinemaCon, a lot of news, a lot of Disney news, a lot of just news in general. Matt, you want to shoot us your top cinema drops?
Yeah, so let's stick real quick with the Flash. So this was the first public, quote unquote, CinemaCon's invitation only, so not really public, but it was the first reveal, I guess, of a screening of the Flash, and I was very interested to see what people are going to say about this. Every single review, every single one I saw, there's not one that fails in this category. Every single one of them came out and said, this is not only the best DCEU film of all time, including the original trilogy of the Batmans, or the Dark Knight trilogy of the Batmans. This might be the greatest superhero film ever. And that was like a consistent theme across every non-DC person that went and came out of this movie. And my mind was blown, because I was talking a couple weeks ago with you about James Gunn saying this is the greatest movie he's ever seen, kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
all of us chalked it up to him being part of DC and him just
Right.
rallying behind
Oh
Warner
my.
Brothers or whatever. But then
Yeah.
you get these reviewers who have nothing to do with DC or Warner Brothers, and they're saying not only is it the best DCU film, but this is better than Endgame and Infinity War.
Those are some big shoes to fill, though, man. To say that, that's I want to see it before
Do
I
you-
even.
Do you think there's a little bit of like, probably a better term than beer goggles that's going on with this, just with the last DCU films being not very good, that it's like, because this one is good, it's just seems that much better because of the low quality that we've gotten.
Yeah,
I
like
don't
this
know,
is the best of the crappy movies kind of thing, or this is a mediocre movie coming after a whole bunch of terrible movies.
Yeah, or even
Well,
just
that's been
people
said
going
before.
to low expectations.
Yeah, the hard
But
part for me is like,
we've had those since I would say Aquaman 1, and Shazam was, like I told you before, a very good movie compared to like DCU standards. But
True.
I wasn't over here saying it's the best superhero film since sliced bread.
Mm-hmm.
I said it's probably a top 5, top 10 MCU film if it's in the MCU, and I never get more respect than that. But to say this is the greatest superhero film of all time, not even like against the MCU, if you're saying it's better than the Dark Knight trilogy as a whole, that's kind of insane to say.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like I said, those are pretty big shoes to fill. That was a great trilogy, and you're only coming out with one movie so far.
Yeah, the hard part that I just keep finding, though, and I know we're gonna switch topics here, but is it the greatest superhero movie because we're now jumping through multiple franchises and we're seeing Ben Affleck's Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman, a version of Supergirl? Like, is it just because that's like stuff viewers are craving? It's more this multiverse-ness, I guess, and that's therefore deems it a good film.
I don't think it'll be as multiverse as everyone thinks it's going to be. It's going to be more time travel. So what I think's really going to happen is Barry's going to have this sulking attitude, and Ben Affleck's Batman's going to be like, "Yo, what's the problem?" This is going to be the first 20 minutes of the film. Barry's going to be, "I want to go back and fix things," and then he's going to tell him what he told them, which is our job isn't to go back and fix things; it's to learn from our lessons, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Goes back in time, he fixes them, and then from there, it's just who we see. So outside of Ben Affleck and Keaton, there's no multiversal aspect to it at all, and since Ben Affleck's going to be not even like, this isn't like a team up where like they're like a Spider-Man thing where the three of them are teaming up to fight villains together.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Ben's telling him don't go, he goes, and then Keaton's there instead of Ben. And so like it's not like it's, you know what I mean? Like the multiversal interactivity isn't present in this film.
Yeah, I think he's just going to jump. I get what you're saying. I don't think they're going to be jumping from universe to universe to universe. I really think he's going to be going to one, maybe two, and then it's going to be he's stuck there, and this is where he does what he needs to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely go see it. I'm very curious with all the.
I wish Grant Gustin was in it. That's all. Breaks my heart.
There's still a chance he could be.
All right, so let's jump off Flashpoint because I feel like we've been on it for a little bit. What else caught your eye, Matt, coming out?
Yeah, so I'm on the Timothée Chalamet train. Everyone should be because he's a damn good actor.
Mm-hmm.
First off, Dune 2 picks up literally where Dune 1 left off. That was great news. Zendaya is going to be in more than 10 minutes. She's not going to be just in dreams this time. So that was a cool little tidbit. They did mention that Timothée Chalamet's character is going to be riding on a worm. And that Timothée Chalamet also said that shot when they ride the worm is all practical. There's no CGI. So I'm really excited to see how it looks. So like I said, the entire thing's practical. There's no CGI. It was a great piece of film. On the Timothée Chalamet train, what I'm more excited for, and I've touched on it very little, but I'm very excited for this movie because of just the essence of what it brings is he's playing the young Wonka, which we've known about for a while. But a plot point has been released about Wonka, and what it is he's going to be a poor Willy Wonka, not a rich established one already, trying to live out his dreams of owning a chocolate factory. And his mom in the trailer says things like, go pursue your dreams or whatever. Which one his mom has never been touched on. His dad was in the first, or not the first, but the second Tim Burton version of it. Also, the cool thing for me, on top of that, and I want your reactions from both these topics here of him being a poor Willy Wonka, establishing himself, and then also Hugh Grant's an Oompa Loompa. Hugh Grant.
That's
Hugh
weird.
Grant. Yeah,
Like
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
like
Yes,
he's
Hugh Grant.
all the Oompa Loompas, or
With
he's
Mickey
just
Blue
A.
Eyes. Well, from what's come out of CinemaCon, Hugh Grant is an Oompa Loompa. So I don't know if he's all the
Okay.
Oompa Loompas, but he is a Oompa Loompa. What I imagine is going to happen is if it's going to be the origin story of Wonka's come up, he's going to go find the Oompa Loompas, and instead of them all being like all the Oompa Loompas like we imagine, it's going to be one source guy he finds, which is going to be Hugh Grant. Where at the end he's like, oh, by the way, if you need more workers, I got an entire tribe over here.
Yep.
So, gentlemen, thoughts on a young Willy Wonka who's poor and not some cool, whimsical guy, and then Hugh Grant. And then also, real quick to add on top of that, there is a chocolate river. Timothy Chalamet said that he ate a lot of chocolate, number one. And number two, he said that he literally swam in a chocolate river. So, go, gentlemen. Thoughts?
Go for it, Andrew. Knock yourself out on this one. I think you have something
So
to say.
I will be excited to see it, one, because I think Timothy Chalamet is a fantastic actor. I think it sounds like, from what you described, I haven't really read anything on this, but it sounds like we're going to get a very different Willy Wonka than we've seen twice. So that's exciting, something fresh. I'm hoping we see like the adventures of, and I think outside of an established Willy Wonka is a very exciting thing, where maybe at the end he's finally got his factory, but it'll be curious to see like his upbringing without it being like a flashback, or without him being in a dentist chair, getting his teeth pulled or cleaned or whatever. I'm excited for it. I mean, I think it could be very cool. Just something different to a very known classic story that, frankly, we've all grown up with.
Yeah. Yep. Different twist for sure.
I'm feeling what your answer, Andrew. I'm kind of in the same boat. I want to see a different twist with this. I want to see it. I was looking at screenshots right now, and I'm feeling the vibe. I'm really kind of into it. I feel like he's gonna kill it at this. I just want to see how the Oompa Loompas look. The Johnny Depp movie wasn't the greatest, but it was fun.
Those didn't do it
those
for me.
Oompa Loompas like got me out of the show, dude. I was like, what the hell is this?
It's just Tim Burton style,
It is Tim Burton style, and I do for the movie. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
It just didn't. I think the Oompa Loompas is what kind of got me to back up, and then just after that, I was over it. But
hopefully this movie's as whimsical or fun, and
exactly.
This is going to be more fun, I think. So.
Yeah, even if it's not as fun, it's kind of like a dark humor, kind of like a Sweeney Todd. I'm still into that kind of too. You know what I mean? That vibe where it was serious but yet kind of funny at the same time. I'm in for that too. So I think I like it.
I think one of the things that I hope that they do is something that I loved about like the Gene Wilder character, and there's a few like interviews that you can watch with him explaining that opening scene where he's walking with his cane, and his cane gets stuck in the crack, and then it looks like he's gonna fall, and he flips into it. And he breaks down that scene, and he does it really, really nicely. And he explains that I wanted this character to keep the audience guessing on what was gonna happen on everything. Whether it's me walking up, you never know what I'm gonna do. So I hope that they can bring that element to Timothy Chalamet's character and keep us guessing on, okay, here's the choice that you can make that will potentially get you to your factory quicker, or what are we going to do? But we don't really know because your character is that deep, and it's just a lot harder than a yes or no, or this is what I want to do to get it. Like, keep us guessing.
Yeah.
Make us think.
I totally agree with that. What was your next one, Matt?
Next one, Kraven the Hunter. So Sony Pictures was the first one. I don't know if you guys heard about Kraven the Hunter, but
Kraven the Hunter.
R-rated film, number one. Okay, it's the first thing. Number two, the trailer was described as like gory, bloody, and like him massacring people. So one of the ones was that he uses a foot trap on his enemy, and you see the foot trap, and you see what it does. The next one is him biting someone's face off, and again, you see him biting someone's face off and clawing someone's chest. And then the third thing that was very surprising to me, besides like those already surprising things, was the end of it. There was a guy saying, "Don't you want to know why they call me the Rhino?" He drinks some kind of vial, and he starts physically turning into a rhino. So rhinos in this film officially, and this looks like a rated R film. And you're muted, Steven. And it looks like it's going to be gory and bloody and a true Craven film.
Wow. So when you say it's like turned into a rhino, like a rhinoceros, or like the dude just gets yoked? Oh, that's crazy.
No, like you see his like arm turn to like a rhino arm.
Oh,
kind of
that's tight. I kind of.
So I wonder if they're taking like elements from Morbius of like some kind of synthesized potion to turn him into a rhino.
Must be something.
That's pretty cool though. I'm definitely into it. If they're going to give us a new story, if they're going to give us a new story, I'm in. I'm definitely in. I know it's superhero movies are made for kids. It's in most parts, but I do like the fact that it's R-rated. That means it's going to be not sugar coated. But yeah, that sounds cool to me.
Cool. Next up is. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just Wonka's coming out in December of this year, 2015,
yes,
or on the 15th, December 15th. Wow, that's gonna be cool. I can't wait to watch that. I thought I was gonna wait another year or two for it, but okay.
No. Yeah, comes out this year.
Dune is this year too, isn't it?
Dune 2 is also this year. Yes,
Dude,
that's like right around the same time. Like he's gonna have a busy
fourth quarter.
Yeah,
he's gonna be making them rounds. You know what I mean?
Well, it's Warner, so I mean, no matter where he goes, like for like one, he's going for both, right? So any interview he does is going to be about both things. It's just when you have the same studio running both things, you can do all interviews at one time for everything, which is it's a good thing for Timothy because it's going to be a very busy holiday for him. Cool. Next up, Killers of the Flower Moon. That's a Scorsese film. I've talked about it, I think, in the very beginning. This is a movie that's been hyped up for the last like year and a half to 2 years with DiCaprio and with De Niro. I'm excited for it because it's a Scorsese film with freaking DiCaprio and De Niro. But also beyond that, it's just looks like a good movie. Scorsese has been on record saying that he hates the streaming stuff and he thinks they need to go back to true cinematic experiences. The first thing he says, this is a big screen movie. That's how we made it, and you'll see. So bold words. The important thing here is that we have a trailer, which means we have wrapped filming and production. So I'm thinking next year, if not this year, is going to be some kind of announcement about this movie. But that's just more excitement than anything.
Dude, I am so stoked for this story. The story that what I've heard about the story, I am so far. I'm in. The fact that De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio's in it, the time the movie's taking place, there hasn't been a part of or news from this movie yet that I'm like questioning. I'm liking everything so far. I'm a huge fan of this. I thought I had some news about it, but I don't.
Is that not supposed to come out in October? Am I reading that wrong?
There wasn't like so the thing with this movie is there's been 2 release dates already and they pushed it back. But there's a trailer now. Yeah. So the trailer now tells me that they're ready to start pumping this movie out promo wise.
Yeah. I can't wait for this. It looks so good, dude.
Cool. So keeping it pushing to the next couple bits of movie, I think about 3 or 4 more. One, it's been announced that Andy Samberg is in Across the Spider-Verse. Don't know what role he's going to play. Don't know what he's going to do there. But
that's cool.
But I don't know if everybody's seen this. You guys know Spooderman, like the meme version of Spider-Man.
Yep.
He's been shown in the trailers.
No.
He's been not only in the trailers, he's in the poster as well. So I'm thinking maybe Andy Samberg, Spooderman.
That would be dope. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I haven't
John Hamm Spider-Ham, so maybe Andy Samberg Spooderman, you know?
Yeah, I haven't seen any trailers. I've been trying to avoid this too, just because that's a movie that I just want to go in with like a blank slate
and watch.
Yeah, it's more on the poster. Spooderman is very, very hard to like. It's like hard to make out, but the poster is like very clear he's in there. So yeah, more interesting news there. Avatar: The Last Airbender. There was the animated, I think movie trailer that was shown. This one follows Aang, Katara, Sokka, Zuko, Toph, all in their adult age, which I'm happy about.
Yes.
What's coming out is they look like they're in their late 20s to early 30s, so a little bit of a ways after the ending of The Last Airbender, but kind of in that peak of when they're trying to reestablish order in the world and create the city that they create in Korra.
That's gonna be cool.
Public city.
Yeah. Let's go. I want them to have life problems. Oh, Andrews. I want them to have massive life problems, like they're paying bills and like
Yeah, I'm sure Katara and Aang will have some kind of relationship issues or whatever.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting.
Cool. Next.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we move on, do you think we'll get that group, the White Lotus from Korra?
Like making like it being established in this?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Because we know that they came together. Obviously, that guy becomes an airbender, but that's not until Korra. But we know he's like a skilled fighter. I wonder if they will play. That would be cool. That show was so good.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it.
So good.
The first season kind of dragged, but the second one, when you get into the spirit world,
man, I think the first one was so good too.
Nah, it kind of drags a little bit until you find out what the person is doing to. Yeah. Anyways, cool. Next up, Ninja Turtles. Nothing significant or different, other than it seems like Paramount is creating their own little multiverse. So April O'Neil is asking the Turtles if they're going to be heroes. And when she references villains within the world, she references Gru and Megamind.
Oh,
so it seems like a little multiversal Paramount Illumination thing going on there.
Oh, let's check it out. Let's see what's up on that. I'm always in for some turtle stuff.
So second to last thing, Kung Fu Panda 4 is coming out.
Yeah,
Poe is trying to find a replacement for the Dragon Warrior. That's cool and all. The real cool thing is the villain's been announced. His name is the Chameleon, and he can summon villains from all of Poe's past. So every villain we've seen so far is coming back, it looks like, and he's going to be able to summon powers from all of them. So imagine Poe, who's fought all these people before, fighting all of them all over again, pretty much, because he can summon them in one big grand fight. Or imagine Poe and then said baby Poe or said baby Dragon Warrior fighting along with him to defeat all of his foes from his past. Sounds pretty cool to me.
Yeah, of Kung Fu Panda, you sold me a Kung Fu Panda. You could have told me we're watching Poe eat.
Do you guys think the next Dragon Warrior will be some kind of lame species like a panda, or you think it'll be something that's like?
No, I think it's going to be something.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like something.
Native to China, guys.
Well, you could do like a.
They're not native to China if they are. A panda is pretty much the lowest you can get in China.
That we know of.
Yeah, I've never been to China. I don't know the animals.
Oh, fair enough. I think it'll be a cool person.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be somebody like a Tigress kind of thing where they move forward with it, making TV show after TV show and kind of keep it going. And I think they do something like that, and I'm cool with it. I enjoy all the content the little stories, the little seasons they've had on Netflix. I watch them with my kids. We love Kung Fu Panda in this house. It's always on. It's a good series.
All three of them are very well done. They're all all pretty good movies for the most part.
Yeah, even the shows are really good. So what was your last one, Matt? What's the
last
one?
bit is not a piece of news. Rather, how every single CEO that came out said the same thing in the very beginning. So Sony's CEO, the first thing he said when he came out was, streaming does not create movie superstars. The big screen and cinema does.
Okay.
Warner Brothers then followed up with their CEO, and he said that they're going to focus more on cinema and get people back into theaters. Paramount then followed up and said that theatrical needs to thrive in order for streaming to work. So it seems like the industry is making the shift back to the big screen because they realize that's where the audience is going to be watching these cinematic masterpieces at, which excites me since I'm a big fan of cinema. And I feel like streaming has its parts and has its places, right? I think TV shows do great for streaming and everything like that. But I think cinematic directors and cinematic actors are not born from TV shows unless they're very dramatic and very in-depth TV shows like Snowfall for Damson Idris, stuff like that. But
definitely,
it seems like the entire industry has decided we're getting away from streaming. Like, we're going to have streaming still, but the streaming should be supplemental to cinema, not vice versa.
Right.
I'm excited for that personally, but I know Andrew is a big fan of staying at home and not leaving anywhere, and he thinks everything's a money grab.
I do think it's a money grab. I mean, you got me there. I think, and it goes back to a couple weeks ago that we talked, or maybe even longer than a couple weeks ago. But I think what big companies are realizing is you can't make money with streaming services. Like the only way you can make money is increase your price, and when you increase your price, you lose clients. You lose clients, you got to increase your price to compensate for losing clients, and then it's just this vicious circle that goes downwards. So again, I think it's a good step in the right direction. This was actually something that I was going to probably talk about my next slightly qualified topic, but I'll bring it up just to get you guys' opinion now. But I've seen that companies are doing kind of two different streaming services. You have kind of your paid services without ads, and then you have like, it's not like their name, but they still own it as like a secondary streaming services with ads.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the way that it's going to go in the future, is that, you know, there's going to be this focus on getting people back into the theaters, a big emphasis on the silver screen. And then you have two options. You can stream the stuff that's might be decent quality on a paid subscription, or kind of the leftover stuff with ads that kind of bounce around. But we can talk about it at another time. It's just that was something that
I definitely agree. I definitely think they definitely agree with that. They're going to have those two different services. I just think like that Matt really gets big on is watching certain movies in theater, like watching Mario. You had to watch Mario in theater. I have a 75-inch TV, beautiful TV, but it's not the same as watching it at the theater with my kids and experiencing that. There's certain movies that are just theater movies.
Yeah.
And John Wick, that's a theater movie. You're going in there, there's a whole bunch of stuff happening. It's crazy. But if we watch, what's the Scorsese movie coming out, Matt? What's it called again?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
That might be something I want to watch in theater, but I also might want to watch at home, because I like to pause and rewind and say, wait, what did he say? And kind of watch it again. That's the kind of stuff that I want to watch at home. But it's a Scorsese movie, so if it wasn't Scorsese, I probably would say I'll watch it at home. But since it's his movie, I'm gonna watch that in theater.
So I feel like every director, every major movie director will tell you the same thing, and every producer and most actors will as well. Actually, there's some that digress because they're from this new modern era or whatever. Every single one of them will tell you that film and movies and cinema were made to be viewed with the full attention to it, unstopped, unpaused, unhinged, with real reactions in real time. And the reason for that is so you experience something continuously with your focus on it as the way the director intended you to view it. So like a movie like Killers of the Flower Moon, like a Scorsese film, for example, or even like, let's do Tenet, for example, because it's already come out. I don't think a lot of people understood Tenet when you first watched it for the first time, but the experience you had watching it and be confused nonstop was what Christopher Nolan had in mind when he created this film. So every film that's meant to be taken serious, I feel like, and every director who wants to be taken serious will tell you the reason. Not only is it disrespectful to the person next to you to be on your phone, but to a director who put his heart and soul into this and wants you to view it at a certain shot or a certain continuous motion, wherever, like, we want your full attention on it. So when I'm watching stuff at home, that can't happen, obviously. Whether, I have a private home theater in my house or not, there's always like the struggles of life going on around you. But when you get into a theater, you know you're going to dedicate 2.5 hours of your time to something, and everyone around you who's important knows that you're going to the theater today to watch a movie at this time. They don't bother you, or if you don't text back or whatever, they don't bother you because they know what's happening. Then that does something for the quality of movies that's out. So I think with like Oppenheimer coming out, Killers of the Flower Moon, the Wes Anderson film, those things were that's what I was like. If you watch Grand Budapest Hotel at home versus in a theater, that goes from being the greatest film of all time to being just like another movie that's a Wes Anderson film. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think another one that falls into that trap is The Life of Pi. Like,
yes,
you watch that in the theater, like, it's a spectacle. Like, so cool. But you watch it at home, you lose so much out of it. Even though it's still a great movie.
Yeah. So
totally. I agree that there is definitely a time and a place for theaters, and it shouldn't. I'm glad that it isn't dying, and that it should be more of an emphasis. I think a lot of it though too is it's going to drive more revenue. You're gonna make money.
I think too that streaming shouldn't have replaced the theater. It should have replaced the DVD.
Oh, 100%.
So I think they're starting to realize we did this wrong. Like major motion picture release, then streaming. The streaming is going to be supplemental of the $20 disc we used to sell. And even to like the point of that, there's a movie that Sony made called Napoleon with Joaquin Phoenix. He's Napoleon Bonaparte. There's so much in on it. They told Apple TV, we're not going to sign the exclusive rights to this unless you give us a week in theater first. And Apple said,
That's
okay,
genius.
Go ahead and do it.
That is genius.
So I think Sony's all in on it. I think Warner Brothers is definitely all in on it. Paramount 50-50. Disney probably is not all in on that aspect, but I think the major cinematic places are trying to get back to the grassroots of what cinema is supposed to be, which is a theater. And then once you watch it in theaters, you watch it at home some way. Instead of doing DVDs, we just do straight to streaming, which I think that's what it should have been in the first place.
Yeah, and I mean, if you think about from an eco-friendly sense, it makes sense. You're not pumping out discs that are eventually just going to get thrown in the garbage. You have the cost of making the disc that you don't have to worry about. Like, I think the scramble was COVID happened. Everybody's at home. Nobody's going to public theaters.
Just going to say that.
How do we get some kind of revenue? Okay, we'll get it from streaming services. But then then it happened, and it's like, wait, there really isn't the return on investment that we were expecting with this. Oh crap! Now we have to backpedal, and who's gonna like that?
And they tried. I mean, Scorsese put out Irishman on Netflix, and although they gave him a budget for it, I don't think he was fond of it being on Netflix first. I think he would have loved that to be on the big screen.
That should have been on big screen. That's a great movie. The hard part though is now I'm going to get into the being a cheap guy in that sense is I start to stack up. We'll say like Mario. I have to start stacking up. Do I just wait for this movie to come to streaming service because I'm already paying the $14.99 a month and watch it with my kids on the couch, or do I take my kids to watch this movie and spend damn near almost $200? You know what I mean? So that's where it's going to start getting a little trickier for the average family with maybe 1 to 2 kids. Or is it going to be the movies turn into like a date night only, and I don't take my kids to watch Disney movies? Because I have no problem with that. That's perfect for Disney. If they're going to keep coming out straight to Disney Plus, then that solves my issue. But there's going to be some movies coming out that I want to take my kids to, but I also don't want to spend $200, and that's just like us with tickets and one drink per kid or a popcorn for free. You know what I mean?
To kind of counter the argument, Mario made over $900 million. So I think families are okay with spending the money for the movies they want to see. I think those small movies that like the small movies you're talking about that are going to be here and there that you don't want to go see in the theaters, I don't think they're banking on, like, those aren't the ones the studios are banking on anyway in the first place. Those are just ones that they're letting their kind of new actors, new directors usually get their hands wet and feet wet. Every once in a while, one of those movies kind of turns out to be a cult classic or something like that, but they're not banking on those ones. They're banking on ones like Wonka or Dune or The Flash and stuff like that. And I think we have seen people are willing to spend money to go to the theater still for those kinds of films.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mario, man. Mario probably opened the door for a ton of more animated films to come through.
Oh yeah, and then it's right at $1 billion or right under or right over, and it hasn't even opened yet. I think it just started this today, airing in Japan and in Korea. So that movie's gonna be.
It's gonna be a monster.
A monster, dude. You're gonna see in the next 3 years, Nintendo this, Nintendo that, Nintendo. It's gonna get pretty crazy. So we'll just wrap it up. The last thing I had, I think you guys missed over one of the greatest movies of all time, and the fact that they're coming out with the sequel of this, and my buddy Matt over here totally dropped the ball by not bringing this movie up. Is they're coming out with the sequel to Dodgeball? And Vince Vaughn he's coming out with the sequel. Almost 20 years. Not a lot of news, but Vince Vaughn did sign on to bring it back in. I was waiting for Matt to bring that guy up, but I'll throw it in the Discord if you want me to.
Dodgeball too, I see it.
Yeah, so I love Dodgeball, dude. I watch that movie all the time.
That's a good one.
It's a great movie, dude. But yeah, I digress. That
You
movie
dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
dodge a ball. Pirate Steve, man, was my fantasy football name for so long.
So
Good movie.
I felt the same way about Anchorman. Like I felt like that was like a classic.
Yeah,
But I
it was a
didn't really
classic.
care for Anchorman 2.
I never watched Anchorman 2.
I see. It's
Anchorman
I
2
mean, you're not
it's
missing
bad.
much.
Not
The only
bad.
thing Anchorman 2 has going for it is the fight scene where just more and more cameos start coming out and like everybody's there.
In the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
man, they got everybody for this movie.
Yeah.
But
All right, so let's pull off CinemaCon and let's get into some video game news. I am heartbroken once again. Right when I thought Microsoft was giving everybody the right hook and starting to get their creed on, they got blocked by
tell you,
what is it called?
Gentlemen, this is our moment.
Is
By the UK.
it's the Brits again. The Brits
we
are locking
gotta
up.
we gotta go to war with him, dude. So it looks like they pulled back because of cloud gaming. That's gonna be.
I told you.
That's gonna be their thing. Why they're putting their foot down. But Microsoft is not going into that dark abyss. They are going to be fighting it, and it looks like it could be. It could be going into the 2025-ish time frame. That's what some of the lawyers of YouTube, when they're breaking down this case, they're pretty much they're going to be dragging this out. This is going to be a long time. Microsoft said it should be wrapped up by the end of June. That's not going to happen. So we're looking about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, what do you think?
I go back and forth on this. Again, when I read this article, I thought back to the conversation we had about how this kind of buying up studios doesn't really lead to competition, and it basically bulldozes the little guys that produce like those heart and soul made games.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think I'm on the position of if it doesn't happen, I think that's probably for the best. I just don't know. Like I feel like corporate America might be like killing the development of games with just trying just
Corporate
to make
America?
as much money. Just big companies in general. It's just everything's the money. Like how can we get the most money for it instead of how can we develop a game that people are going to buy because it's good? It feels like it's the opposite. How can we make the game that people are going to spend the most money on?
So what's weird is some of the interviews that I was watching with some of the lower tier developers, there was a lot of mixed feelings. Some people were like, no, we really wanted this to go through. That way we knew we had a budget. That way we knew we had backing. We had funding to keep going. Because now we get to add the stuff that we wanted to add to complete the game. And then some of them are like, no, we didn't want this. We want to be able to shop around and get picked up by this person or da-da-da-da. It was very mixed, but it was very unique because I've never heard it coming from the lower end, the guys who are really just making games because they wanted to make games they wanted to play. But it was very mixed. It was I was agreeing with somebody who was against the acquisition, and then I watched another video and I was like, oh, I can kind of see where you're going with this. So it's very tricky. I just hope that they get it ironed out, and that if there is an stopping innovation, then there better be somebody in the wings getting ready to innovate, because if nobody's innovating and this gets blocked and then it just falls, it's what do we do this for? You know what I mean?
No. That's not fair to say. That's not fair to say. So innovation can happen wherever, because the opportunity to have innovation and actually having innovation are two different things. But you have to have the opportunity to have innovation in the first place. So if you just take the opportunity away, it'll never happen. If there's opportunity there, it could happen still at some point in time, whether it's tomorrow or 30 years from now. So I mean, like to say someone better have something come out of the works as soon as it gets blocked it's not fair.
I'm not trying to say extremely out of the box. I just don't want it to be where the progression just stops here, because like
I think it'll be the opposite. I think progression would stop when they acquire them. Now, right. I don't think it'll be that. Let me clarify what I'm trying to say. It won't be the opposite. Progression might stay the same. It might not get better or worse, but I think it will get worse if they do acquisition them versus just keeping it where it's at now or getting better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it as
like
competition breeds the innovation. Now that you're buying everybody up, there's less competition, therefore less of a desire to innovate.
Yeah, and this might sound like anti little guy, but when a small developer says, "I wanted the funding from them," that doesn't really support it, like innovation of gaming. It just supports their will to have more funding for their game. And I think there's a confusion or convolution of things where I'm saying I would like the opportunity for innovation versus innovators saying, well, we need money. And I think they don't always have to go hand in hand. So we're like, when we do that is like, I personally don't care when a developer says, I wish we'd gone through so I can get more money for it. I'd rather the money not be there than it be there, and then there's no progression because the money's there. If that makes sense. If they don't go hand in hand, in my opinion, they could for sure. Like, I think what the overlying thing you're trying to say is like, if there's no funding, there's no innovation, which is true. You need money to make good quality things, but I don't necessarily think that the developers in this situation that want the money from the acquisition are the ones I'm focusing on in terms of like what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think we're all coming from a gaming background, not more of a financial. I'm coming from it with like, if someone goes, man, I really want to create this game, but I don't have no money. And Microsoft's like, dude, sign with us and we'll throw you the bag and do your thing. In my head, I'm thinking, hell yeah, dude, now we get to get better games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do understand where it's like, if they're the gatekeepers, then you have to fall in line. You know what I mean?
But I'm also good with what you said. I'm good with that too. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Activision isn't that. Activision Blizzard
not even
is
close.
the biggest developer in the world. So like, if a small indie guy comes and says, Microsoft, I need money, here's my game idea, and they're like, oh, we'll fund it, put it on our platform exclusively. Awesome. That's great. I agree with that. That's cool. I think that's what's missing a lot of times with Sony and Tencent and Microsoft. I just have a problem when it's the biggest. When it's someone that doesn't need to be acquired. That's when I have a problem with it, because you're taking away an entire sector of gaming, pretty much all of Activision Blizzard, from an entire really just Sony, because they have a deal with Nintendo. But you're taking an entire sector of gaming away from an entire platform of users, which is different than a small indie guy needing to create a new game, right? If Activision Blizzard wasn't this established conglomerate and giant, I probably wouldn't care as much as I do. But this is Activision. Like, you just got Bethesda. Leave Activision alone. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So like, one of the examples Nintendo used, because Nintendo got asked to come in and speak, and they pretty much denied it. They wanted somebody to speak for about like 7 hours, and Nintendo's like, no.
Oh, heck no. Yeah,
they wanted to sit there for 7 hours.
Like on their behalf?
Yeah, and answer questions for 7 hours. And Nintendo was like, here's my legal team, buddy. Like, no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Nintendo was like, because the cloud gaming came up, and they were saying that it's weird because UK, one of the number one games they play over there besides Call of Duty and stuff was what's that new Minecraft Legends game?
Dungeons.
Yeah. So they've been playing that. That's what's weird is on Nintendo, that's a Microsoft title, and Microsoft was really, or Nintendo was really pushing like, hey, they own it, but yet more people are playing it on our consoles than on Xbox in the UK. Like, you guys are not, like, this isn't making sense. You know what I mean? Until they kind of until this morning when they broke down the last piece of literature, and I was like, I get what they're saying now about being gatekeepers and being, if you want a cloud game, you're going to have to come to Microsoft. And I do understand that you can't have one person controlling everything when it comes to cloud gaming. It's just not going to work. But I digress. Hopefully they figure something out so somebody can keep Activision accountable on giving us these trash Call of Duty maps. But whatever. I'm still upset with this. Anyways, but besides that, it's really all I had for gaming. I know Andrew's going to be playing tonight at 9 o'clock. He's going to be playing Survivor.
I'm playing at 9 o'clock.
Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, we just stopped you from downloading it, so you're not playing shit.
I mean, I probably won't play until tomorrow, just because I want to get into it. It's like,
Hey, so
distractions.
somebody already finished the game, completely
I
like 100% the game, and I was like,
believe it.
that person needs help. They said it was a great game. Matt's saying it's trash. No, I'm just not saying it's trash.
I joke. My only fear with this game is that the first one was so good, this one can't possibly be as good.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think I've said this multiple weeks in a row now. I've tried to do everything in my power to stay away. I got kind of mad because I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw that there was a Rancor, and I like swiped up really quick because I was like, dang it, no, I don't want to see anything. Like, I just want to go in blind and just kind of expect it that way.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it looks amazing. I think it looks beautiful. I think the game looks 155 gigs of what it should be. If you're playing it on Xbox, it's 140. That is crazy, man.
My poor PC, man.
Dude, mine's probably screaming. Oh man. But besides that, I can't wait, dude. There's gonna be so many. I feel like Star Wars games just need to start throwing them out there, man. I think there's so many opportunities for some new Star Wars games that I can't wait. I want to play some Sith. You know what I mean? I want to be a bad guy. I want to be. I want to get to that, dude. But
at the end of the day, we're getting Cal Kestis back, and I love Cal Kestis, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, and his poncho. Is he rocking the poncho?
The poncho. He was very adamant.
Yeah,
very adamant about the poncho. Yeah, and they have some promos with Mark Hamill. I don't know if you've seen him or not.
Oh yeah, I was watching those. Those are funny. Yeah.
Where JD McDonough so there's nothing to do with the game. JD McDonough.
Yeah, just funny stuff.
McDonough had his two lightsabers, like picks them apart or whatever. And Mark Hamill's like in the corner, and he's like, "They never gave me two lightsabers." And then JD's like, "Oh, it's just one, but they break apart." And he puts it back together. And Mark's like, and he walks away. And then Mark's playing a little bit of the game, and JD's like, hey, duck right there. And Mark's like, don't tell me how to be a Jedi. I know how to be a Jedi.
I am the Jedi. That's funny. All right, well, if there's nothing to do with the game, I might check him out.
Yeah, it's pretty funny, man. Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can watch the little clips, a couple minutes. But besides that, that's all we had for today when it comes to news on gaming and movies. We're going to jump into the expert. Is it Andrew today, right? Oh, Matthew. It's Matthew, the slightly or more qualified to talk on this topic. Please pray and put your hands together for my man. Let's go.
Yes, I actually have a trio of topics, and it's all kind of the same thing. It's all three about different teams I like and different aspects of sports and esports. So I'm going to touch on them real quick. The first one I think Steven's going to be very proud about. Optic Gaming comes into this last major for Call of Duty 5-0. They blow everybody out the water pretty much. I think not a single series went past 4. They ran an 10-game hardpoint streak. They look good coming into it. Thieves
really
look good as well. FaZe look good as well. Toronto didn't look very good coming into this. Boston looked 50-50.
Yeah, they're shaky.
Vegas looked very good coming into this. Seattle looked like Seattle, which if you know Call of Duty, that's a good team. Anyways, going into all of that, a couple interesting things happened this weekend with that major. One, Optic didn't end up winning it, which broke my heart. Thieves ended up winning it. The first series that they played each other in winners finals, Thieves kind of just ran through them. Optic just forgot how to play Call of Duty, and their thumbs stayed back at the hotel that day. So I don't know what happened with that. I can tell you what happened with it. The sub players, Shotzi and Hook, didn't look very good compared to Kenny and Envoy. Kenny and Envoy, they're no slouches. They're good players. But the day before that, we were talking about Hook being the best player in the game, and Kenny just ran through him. More importantly, Envoy ran through him. But Octane was that dude this weekend, honestly. So
he showed up.
Thieves won the second map set they had in the actual grand finals of it after Optic stomped FaZe again. It looked a little more competitive. Thieves still took the first hard point, which was expected because it was Hydro once again, which is Optic's worst map. I think Optic needs to just defeat that map going forward because people are starting to figure out that that's their worst hardpoint map. Thieves get done at control. They're probably the best control team in the game, honestly, going into this tournament. But Thieves is doing what they did last year, which they're turning up at the last part of the season. They're the first ever team to win the same major number back-to-back years. So last year they won Major 4. This year they won Major 4 as well. If they repeat like they did last year, they're winning champs as well. Getting second place in the next major. So we'll see how that goes. Optic looks good still. It's just FaZe looks, or not FaZe. Steve just looked better. That's all it was. Optic will get better. They'll figure it out. No change to be made. The important and crazy part, besides Thieves beating Optic, was champs is only the top 8 teams out of 12. Okay, preface that. Las Vegas. So champs is in Las Vegas this year. Las Vegas Legion. They're from Vegas, so they obviously want to qualify for champs. They made a change going into this split, and their change worked out in pool play. They did really good. Stanley looked really, really good. They looked like a good team. They ended up creeping into that 8th spot. Just beat Minnesota right out. Just barely beat Minnesota out, and Minnesota looks very bad this year. So going into this tournament, all Vegas had to do was win one match to just widen the gap between Rocker. But even if they didn't win one match, Rocker just can't win 2 matches. Okay, so we get into it. Vegas loses their first winners bracket match. They played, I think, New York. New York's a very good team. I call that happening. What I didn't call happening was them losing the next map set to Florida. So Vegas was out. Florida beat Vegas, whatever. They still have a 2-game lead over Minnesota. Minnesota's trash. The first game Minnesota plays, they played London Royal Ravens, who might be the only team worse than them, honestly. And then they played the Seattle Surge. Now, anybody that watched this split will tell you that Seattle Surge, 1, has probably the best player in the game, which is Pred. And 2, they have a good team. Like, they should be able to wipe the floor with Minnesota. Well, Seattle goes up 2-0. And a wise man once said it's never chalked. And Minnesota came back and reverse swept them and won 3-2. So as of right now, Vegas is out of champs and Minnesota's back in by a hair on their chinny chin going into the last major. So this last major only isn't important to see who's going to be in the best form going into champs, but also there's 4 teams now at jeopardy of not going. Boston, Seattle, Minnesota, and Vegas are all fighting for the 4 through 8 seed all of a sudden because all those teams lost, except for Minnesota, who won 2, which closed the gap. So very interesting next major for sure for champs. I'm super excited now for the Toronto major. But yeah, I digress. It was a good weekend of Call of Duty, not just because it was a good weekend of Call of Duty, but just there was a lot of storylines for sure. Yeah. So next up. Next up on my docket, the Miami Heat, baby. The Miami Heat. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So the Miami Heat, they're a play-in team. A play-in team for the NBA, that means that you have to go through a tournament to qualify for the playoffs in the first place. Someone's fan is on or something that's really loud. We might have switched inputs, I think, is what happened. Anyways, so Miami Heat, they're a play-in team. They are playing the 1 seed, which is the Bucks. So the Miami Heat, when they were playing the play-in, they lost the first game. And I was like, okay, listen, if we just lose the next game, we get a lottery pick. Let's not play the Bucks. Let's not go to the playoffs. Let's not embarrass ourselves. Like, we're not a very good team this season. Let's just take the lottery pick, please, for the love of all things holy. But I really didn't want to see the Bucks mop us for 4 games straight. Miami Heat end up winning the game. And I'm like, you know what? You guys can't even lose correctly. You guys are so bad this season. So fast forward to the playoffs. Game 1, we win it somehow. I don't know how we did. Game 2, we look bad again. Look like the Miami Heat. We lose the game. But then games 3, 4, and 5. My God, Jimmy Butler might be the best player in the NBA in the playoffs this season. He dropped, I think, 30. And then 54, and then 45. Oh my! And we beat the Bucks. We beat the Bucks. I was in tears. Not only did we beat them, we gentlemen swept them. They won 1 game against us. Yeah. I'm now going from watching this series alone and the amount of heart we showed and how we played. to me, was worth more than getting the lottery picks. Even if you lose the next round, which I think we have a good chance of not. I mean, it's 50-50. It's with the Knicks. They're a good team. I have to apologize, Pat Riley, if you're watching. I don't think you are, but I have to apologize to you for criticizing, man. You put together a team that shows up in the playoffs, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do anything else in the regular season, but you get them there, they're going to show up. So I think we look like a team that can make a run. It's crazy to say because just a month and a half ago, I was telling Steven, I don't even know if we're an NBA team anymore. That's how bad we are. And we just look like a different beast out there.
Yeah, you guys did.
So that's the second thing. We're playing the Knicks next. That's gonna be a great series. Those are two teams who have like what's called dogs. Andrew, if you don't know, they got some dogs in their team. So I mean, they got the dog in them. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be just a slugfest. If it was boxing, it'd be a heavyweight championship kind of a thing.
Right.
I really think that whoever wins this series can definitely make the title run to play Phoenix because Phoenix is gonna win the West. I think.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an interesting matchup. The Boston is now struggling against the Hawks. So they're
No, we just finished it. No, we just finished. Yeah, we came back in the fourth and won it.
So the point is that they went an extra 2 days. So if we get Boston and Boston struggles against, who else is it?
I don't know who we're playing yet. I haven't even taken a look yet.
I think.
Let's see.
Who else?
Yeah.
Cleveland Knicks. That's us. There's a team I'm missing. Very important team.
Cavs. Are the Cavs still in it?
Cavs play the Knicks. Knicks try to beat them. This is great podcasting. NBA playoffs.
Slightly underqualified.
Milwaukee, Cleveland, New York. Oh, Philadelphia. Philadelphia is playing Boston next. They swept the Brooklyn Nets, who are a better team than the Hawks. It's a Philly thing. So Brooklyn's a better team than the Hawks. Boston did struggle with the Hawks the last 2 games. And Philadelphia ain't no slouches. I think
no, Philly's not.
What I'm trying to say is if we see Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Finals, we're going to the championship. If we see Boston in the Series Conference Final, we could definitely beat Boston as well. Boston's not no joke though. But if we can get past the Knicks, what I'm trying to say is I think we can go to the championship as a playing team. It'd be the first playing team in the history of the NBA who's going to go to the championship. And it might be the only one in the next 10 years who goes to a championship. So I am stoked. I'm excited. Even if we lose to the Knicks, as long as we don't get embarrassed, I'm okay with it because we look like bums coming into the playoffs.
More good storylines.
Amazing
storylines.
The Lakers might do the same thing with the Grizzlies. They're not the 1 seed, they're the 2 seed, but they're also going to be the first playing team to progress as well. So, to the NBA, I salute you for the playing because it's working out so far for you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Rolling over to the last sport. Andrew, please rise. Please rise, Edgar. Please rise. It's a Philly thing, okay? So the NFL draft is tonight, ladies and gentlemen. By tonight, I mean Thursday, April 27th, okay? Philadelphia has a plethora of picks. Philadelphia is coming off a Super Bowl appearance as well. Philadelphia has signed all their major players back except for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Philadelphia is the only team, I think, that went to the Super Bowl and got better the next year. We have, and when I say this, I say it very confidently, okay? We have every single position covered with a good, if not all-star caliber player. Every single one. They're going to say, oh, you lost Kaiser White. Kobe Dean's going to take over for him. Oh, you lost Javon Hargrave. Jordan Davis is ready, okay? I'm telling you, we have every single position covered. Miles Sanders left. We brought a better running back in. Rashad Penny is hurt sometimes. Not sometimes, a lot of the time. But at his best, he is better than Miles Sanders for sure. And if we can just get him healthy, I'm good with it. I also trust Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott back there. Oh, and did I mention that we have the best quarterback in the NFL named Jalen Hurts? He's also on the team as well still. And on a team-friendly deal, his cap hit this year, like $4 million. That is incredible management from Howie and the boys. With that being said, draft is tonight. We drafted a defensive tackle by Jalen Carter, a true defensive master, like a masterpiece in terms of our scheme. Yeah, he's going to work behind some great veterans who have. What I'm trying to say is we had the best defensive line in football, who had a historic amount of sacks. I think third most of all times, and we just added to that.
Mm-hmm.
We added to it. Philadelphia, and not to mention, there's not even a quarterback left in the NFC. It's just Jalen. It's Jalen Hurts, giant gap, maybe Kyler Murray and Justin Fields. Listen. If we don't make it back this year, I'm severely disappointed because the NFC, we should be able to just walk through that NFC.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anybody stepping.
Even if we don't get the 1 seed, we should have at least 10 wins or more. And when we get to the playoffs, it should be a waltz to the Super Bowl. I'm already thinking ahead to next February, guys, about who we're going to play.
This guy.
So,
yeah, I definitely see the Eagles, like you said, definitely doing some work. They just all-stars need to be all on the same page, and hopefully they can get on the same page and know there's no
injuries. Injuries are the big
injuries under control.
The Eagles are fun to watch. I am a Bucks fan, but I do like watching the Eagles. I am a Boston Scott fan. I like the way he plays.
You guys know Boston Scott is like a huge Rocket League advocate.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's a professional. He plays on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
He's on Dignitas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I like how the athletes are merging over. Maybe that's why Kyler Murray sucks, because he's playing Call of Duty too much.
You know
it's because he runs weird.
There actually is there is a statistic like on double XP weekends for Call of Duty. Kyler's like 0-14 or something like that.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it's a crazy stat.
All right. That was good to bring up. We're going to be talking about sports coming into football. Me and Matt definitely play fantasy football, so we'll be doing our fantasy football takes. Andrew could help us out with that guy. I don't know if he plays fantasy football, but when fantasy football does come in, we'll be doing some takes on copping, dropping, benching, and letting go. So get used to that. So cool. That was wrapped up. Now it's my good friend Andrew over here going to bring us the game. Of the,
all right, gentlemen.
Game Master. Let's do this.
We're going to do something real quick as just a little mini segment because I've been plagued with this meme all week and it's really changed my perspective. So this little segment is called Shock and Awe. And so what I need you guys to do is pull up your Discord. About to send you a photo, and I believe we're going to put this photo on their Instagram. So if you want to see what these gentlemen are about to see, I just want to get your reactions, thoughts, and how this will affect your lives going forward.
Ready? I think I like this.
I'm kind of nervous, to be honest.
It's
so you don't want us to share it on the stream?
Not right now. I just want to get your reactions.
Okay. not that bad to me.
It's pretty bad.
I don't know. They wash them.
Yeah,
not wash them?
But they do. But still, that's like a fact. Like a fact that's truth with a capital T.
I don't know. I'm not. That one doesn't do anything for me.
Doesn't do it for you?
To me, they wash them. It is what it is.
But still, it doesn't matter if they wash it. It's just like the fact of knowing the next time you're at a restaurant, you put a fork in your mouth, I guarantee you're going to think about that. You're going to be like, that's kind of weird to think about.
I'm probably not going to think about that, but
I thought about it.
The only time that's ever crossed my mind, and this is probably about 2 or 3 years into being with my wife, we were going to this little restaurant, and this lady was drinking her coffee, and she was doing this with the cup. Like, say the cup was coming to her lip. Instead of just letting it come to the lip, she was going and sticking her tongue out to find the coffee cup and then drink. And it was disgusting. And I'm not gonna lie to you, for about 6 months, I did not order coffee anytime me and my wife went to breakfast. I had to get that out of my head. It did take 6 months, but
you hope that they wash the forks. But what if they accidentally miss one?
Yeah, but that's about anything. You're touching a door handle.
That's not how it works, though. They have a giant. They open it back up.
I don't know. All right, so now we'll jump into the real game. This is a lot of work. All right, so what we're doing this week.
I will say, hold on, before I continue, I don't want to look at it right now. I want to delete it.
No, you don't.
I will say that at least.
Yeah, it is disgusting.
It's true.
Continue on. Sorry.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about video games. I'm going to give you guys a title of a video game. And I tried to find like well-known video games, and I want you to give me the year that you think it was released. But
Ooh, okay.
I added some hints. So if you need a hint on what the game is, the first hint is I'll give you the console that it came out on.
Okay.
If you still need a hint after that, I did research and I found a historical current event that happened in that year. That was like a big.
Dang, you really went hard in the paint on this.
I did not a lot of work to make sure that this was done. So if you still need a hint after that, I put a famous movie that came out the same year. And if you still can't get it after that, I will give you a multiple choice of different years to go on. So we're just going to go back and forth between the two.
All right, let's run this.
So let's start with Steven. I'm going to give you the original Doom.
Original Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I know it had to come out before. It came out before 007. So I'm thinking it came out. And I played 007 on 64.
Be careful on what you say because that might help the game later too.
I'm going to say 1993.
1993 is the year it came out.
1993. Let's go. Really?
93.
Oh, snaps. Okay, let's go.
That was it.
Let is go.
It came out on MS-DOS. The movie of the year, I picked Jurassic Park.
Oh.
And the event was the Waco siege.
If you would Waco, I probably would have got the 1993. But if you would have said, if I would have got to Jurassic Park, I would have said 95. For some reason, I always think Jurassic Park came out in 95.
It's all good. Okay, Mateus, you are next. Let's do this one. The Sims.
The original Sims?
The original Sims.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, is this like Sim City or just Sims? Like they
The
build their house?
Sims. Yep.
Okay.
Sims. I wasn't a Sims player first off. And the Sims I know is Sims 4. Isn't that crazy?
I played original Sims on my Gateway PC.
It's 2000s. 2000s. Well, give me your first hint or whatever.
I can give you. You can either pick a console,
Just
current event,
give
or
me.
movie.
Well, console's not gonna help me. Current event or movie? Current event. Give me current
event. You have Bush versus Gore, where Bush wins.
The runoff. Shoot, what year was that? Okay, I can do the math real quick. Hold on.
Oh my! I knew you were gonna do this.
08 was Obama.
Okay.
So 2002 was the inauguration of George Bush. Election 2001. No. He did two. Obama did 2 terms. Let's see.
But did George W. Bush do 2 terms?
The math is there.
George W. Bush did 2 terms, yeah. That's 16 years right there. Okay, 16 years. From Trump's initial, which was... So 2000. 2000?
It is the year 2000.
2000, yeah.
The year 2000. Came out on Windows. The movie that I put in there was X-Men. It's crazy to think that.
Dude, it came out the same time X-Men did?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know, this is crazy. You don't think that the X-Men movie is that old, but that movie's 23 years old.
That is crazy.
Crazy. All right. I know Steven is not a PlayStation player, so this one's going to be a little bit harder for him. But we have the original God of War.
God of War came out PS3. No, PS2. Is it PS2 or PS3? Shit, I don't remember if it came out for PS2 or PS3. I want to say PS2. but I want to say the back end of PS2. Give me a current event.
Current event was Hurricane Katrina hits Louisiana.
Damn, that was Kanye West coming out saying that George Bush doesn't like black people.
I know this. I know this because I know the Saints. I know the Saints Super Bowl year, which was the year after Katrina.
I don't remember.
I think.
I want to say 2000. Okay, I was working at that. I want to say 2008. 2008, 2007. But give me the movie hint real quick.
The movie is Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith? I don't remember when it came out. Damn it. I'm going to say 2006. 2006.
That is incorrect.
What was it?
It's too early. 09.
That is also incorrect. Further incorrect. This was
Further?
2005.
Oh, I was close.
You were
2005.
so close. Yeah.
Because I couldn't remember when I graduated high school and God of War was already out. That's why, and I graduated 06. So that's what I was trying to figure out. Was it the year I graduated or was it? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad. I'm not mad at that. I was close.
All right. Let's do a tricky one for Matt. Let's do Pitfall from Activision.
I don't know what Pitfall is.
Like the old school Atari-ish, that game? Pitfall?
Pitfall. I'll give you the hint of the console as a freebie. It was not on a console. It was on an arcade machine.
And you have to give me like a current event or something. Actually, don't even give me what's the other thing? Current event or what? Or movie?
Current event or movie?
Give me the current event.
Epcot opens. So it's the year that Epcot opened.
Dang,
funny.
Matt knows this.
I know he knows his
I don't
Disney
know
stuff.
He knows,
No.
he knows his Disney.
I don't know. Epcot, the theme park, yes?
Yeah.
When did Walt die?
Did Walt die before Epcot was open?
Yes. He did. Walt died, but before the theme park Epcot was open, not the actual attraction though. Because Roy Disney was the CEO, and Walt had just died before they broke ground at Walt Disney World.
Do you want the movie?
Yeah, give me the movie.
E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
90.
90 what?
I'm trying to think. I want to say 95 or 97, but no.
Drew Barrymore's a baby in that movie,
Mm-hmm.
like a little kid. Just to give me.
I don't know how old Drew Barrymore is in real life.
You're in the wrong decade, my friend.
So 80 then. 89.
It's not 89. Steven, you want to give a stab?
I was before you said the E.T. I was gonna say 1975 or something like that, right? But E.T. has Star Wars toys in it, and it was still kind of popular. I want to say like 83, 83. I would say 84.
It is 1982.
Oh, 82.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore's like 3 or 4 in that movie.
All right, I'll give you guys a couple easier ones. Let's do this one. Steven's a big Xbox boy. We have
Boy.
I'm a real boy.
Halo Combat Evolved.
Oh my god, the one I didn't play original Xbox. I'm gonna say 2001-ish. 2001. I'll say 2001.
2001. It is 2001.
Let's go.
Hopefully you guys know what the current event would have been.
Yeah, and that's the only reason I know it's 2001 because my cousin actually enlisted. And he's like, "Yo, you can play my Xbox while I'm gone." I was like, "Cool." So
let's give Matt this one.
Don George Bush, huh?
Kingdom Hearts.
OG Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, give me something else.
You want movie or you want a current event or console?
Let me turn my volume down real quick on the Eagles. Give me the consoles, PlayStation 2. Give me the event.
Kmart files Chapter 11 bankruptcy and is known
Dude,
as the
largest.
He never went to Kmart, dude.
The largest company filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Damn.
I don't even remember Kmart existing.
Kmart was dope.
Give me the movie, I guess. Dude, I don't
The
know.
movie is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
2000. Son of a bitch.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I want to say 03.
2002. We were right.
Dang,
there.
I was saying
That
03
close.
too. I was
That
gonna say
close.
03.
All right, Steven, you better get this next one.
I'm scared. I'm a real boy.
Fortnite.
Oh, shut up with the damn Fortnite jokes already.
Play it every day. You got it. It'll tell you
I didn't play
on
today. I didn't play
the
today.
startup screen what year it came out.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Should be in the small print that nobody ever reads.
Maybe I never read it. Let me see. Fortnite came out 2017.
2017.
Oh, I guess,
Right.
dude. Let's go. Let's go, Fortnite boys.
Oh, we can see your back. You're exposed.
What just
We can
happened?
see it all. We can see it all.
Let me fix it real quick. I'll give you the next one to think
ball
about.
on the ground.
For Matt, we're gonna do Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh man.
Well, I feel like he's giving you hard ass games.
No.
Super Mario Odyssey. Did Odyssey what
Okay.
GameCube? Right? Odyssey dropped
GameCube
GameCube
for sure.
Yeah.
GameCube for sure. Yeah.
Was it back end GameCube or front end GameCube?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, like in the beginning of the life of GameCube, or was it more towards the end?
Like its peak. I think it was like peak GameCube. Like when Jimmy Neutron came out on GameCube and that kind of stuff.
Jimmy Neutron came out on GameCube?
Yeah, good game. GameCube. Odyssey. You said Odyssey, right? Not Sunshine?
I said Odyssey, yeah.
Odyssey, okay. 2007, I lived in the foothills. It came out either during that or right before that, or right after. One of the two. One of the three. During, right after, or before, you know? Give me a event.
The Las Vegas mass shooting.
Really? It came out then?
Mm-hmm.
You're giving me events that were like not relevant to me at the time.
I mean, this one was pretty relevant to a lot of people.
Not to me. I was a child. I didn't know nothing of that stuff. Give me a movie.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh wow! Never mind then.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. You're for the child.
Endgame came out 5 years ago. This puts me at 2018. Ragnarok was a year before or 2 years before. No, because Endgame and Infinity War was a year apart. So that's 2017. Infinity War. Ragnarok was right before Infinity War in the same 2017.
2017. Came out the same year Fortnite came out. All right, let's do one more. Let's do. I want to give Steven a tough one.
You gave me a freaking plank drop, whatever that thing's called.
Pitfall.
Pitfall.
Pitfall. Yeah, that thing.
That's kind of messed up. Never even been in an arcade.
Let's do Pong.
Oh, you're an asshole. All right. So, damn, dude, Pong. Okay, it was on the Atari, the OG Atari.
I think depending on the hint, you might be able to get this.
Steve Jobs' first big break.
All right, give me my hint then.
Which one do you want? Current event or movie?
I'm gonna say current event.
Current event is the Munich Olympics terrorist attack.
Oh, it is it's in the 70s, right? Just give me that. 70s, okay. Now give me the next movie because I think I can get that from the movie.
The Godfather.
Oh, damn, I forgot what to tell you. I'm gonna say 77.
I'll give you the ABCD. 1970, 1976, 1972, or 1969.
I'm saying 1972.
1972.
Oh, let's go. I remember The Godfather.
Must be nice getting the fourth hint.
Yeah, I forgot about the multiple choice.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, so right now let's even up on there.
All right, let's do this one, Matt. You'll like this one. One of the hardest games, if not arguably the hardest game ever.
Cuphead. Yeah, Cuphead. I was living here on my own for the first time when I started playing it. I loved it to death.
I remember you talking about it.
So 2015, I moved to Phoenix. It was after that I lived with Brendan Steven for 1 year, or not a year, but like 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months.
That puts me in 2016 because I graduated in May. So it's either 16 or 17. I remember it coming out, and I was like, "This looks stupid." And then I played like, "This is like freaking amazing." And I watched the show now. All right, give me an event.
Donald Trump inauguration.
Oh, that gives it to him.
Does it?
Does it, Matt? Come on, Matt. You got this. This is a kind of a tricky one, though.
Mm-hmm.
Give me the movie.
The movie is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay. My initial thought was 2016. Biden was 2016 should be correct.
I'll give you the multiple choice.
Okay.
2014, 2017, 2013, 2009.
Okay, then it's 17 is his inauguration.
Yeah. It's always the January.
The January of the next year after.
Yeah,
I just didn't know if it was going to be I didn't know if it was going to be the 16 or 17. Like I didn't know what the election year was.
Yeah. No, you're good.
You got that one.
All right, that's all I got. Unless you guys want to do a couple more, I have a whole sheet of these, man. There's there's 42 in total.
Holy crap! You did all the research on this?
I did all the research.
Andrew, you need to
put my blood, sweat, and tears into this list.
Pick up a hobby, maybe.
Yeah, dude, take your girl on a date or something, brother.
I mean, if I'm getting paid to do it, I had some free time.
Are you admitting to? Never mind.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. All right. Well, thank you everybody if you're still here listening to us. That was a crazy game that I actually won, so I was super stoked. We should play that again.
Who said you won? Who said you won?
I won that. Just letting you know I won that. Anyways, yeah, I did win. I'm not taking the score or nothing, but I did have more points. Let's if you're still listening, like, subscribe wherever you can hear us, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anything and everything. Follow us too at slightly_unqualified. That helps a lot too. We're really close to hitting our budget or our follow membership, whatever subscriber thing on Twitch. So if you're listening, watching, hearing, please jump over there. Just follow, helps us out. You guys got anything before we jam out of here?
Nope.
No.
Go birds. Go birds. Fly goes fly.
I'm sorry that your ears are bleeding. God bless. Take care. And we'll see you later. We out. Peace. Oops, maybe not. And now we're out.